Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as we propagate geraniums from cuttings as well as check on some geraniums that I'm overwintering. So let's go. I love all kinds of geraniums, and each year I try to add more and more into my landscape. There are two big things I want to tackle today, but the first thing we're going to tackle is taking geranium cuttings for the purpose of propagating them so we have more plants. I've had a lot of success propagating zonal geraniums, also known as pelargoniums. I'll put a few links to videos I've made in the past down in the description below as well as up above, so be sure to check those videos out. Today we're going to be propagating a geranium called Martha Washington or Regal geranium. I currently have a few of these plants overwintering in my unheated garage. In fact, I've shown in previous videos my process for overwintering those geraniums in my unheated garage. I've done it successfully for a number of years. I really enjoy that process. And the biggest reason I like to overwinter them in my garage is I can kind of set it and forget it, at least just check on them once a month and that's about it. But then during the winter months, I get a little bit of an itch to want to do some propagating, to create more plants. And today is the day. The Martha Washington plant that we're going to be propagating is called Red Velvet. Normally you want your geraniums to be like this, a nice upright form. But near the bottom here, you can see that we have a couple of pieces that are just going off on the side. So a lot of times what you would do is just come in and cut those off. But why waste these pieces when we can take the pieces and propagate them? Here we are in New Hampshire, zone 5B. Our daytime temperatures have been extremely cold, and yet this plant continues to put out blooms for me in my unheated garage, even though it doesn't have any sort of artificial light on it. It's pretty amazing. See these pieces right here that are a nice green color? That's the fresher, newer growth. As you follow it down, there are pieces that are brown and woodier looking. That's the older growth. Normally when you're trying to propagate any kind of geranium, not just Martha Washington geraniums, it's better to take the fresher, newer growth, not the older, woodier growth. You'll have a higher success rate that way. I could really cut anywhere along here, but I want it to be a long enough piece so that I have one or two leaf nodes beneath soil level and one or two leaf nodes above soil level. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. I just have these hand cutting shears handy. You could use hand pruners as well. And I just want to make a nice clean cut. When it comes to the rest of this piece, in case you're wondering what am I going to do with it, to be honest with you, I'm still going to cut it in smaller pieces. I'm going to try to see if I can root them, but I'm guessing the likelihood is much lower that these will do anything for me. But why put them to waste? I might as well try something with them, but that we're not going to worry about for right now. As sad as it is, next we want to go ahead and remove the blossom. If you are going to take cuttings, you often want to take cuttings from pieces that are not blooming, but if you do take a piece that is blooming, just go ahead and remove the blooms. And I'm just going to follow it down to the end of the flower stem. The reason we're doing this is we don't want our cutting to put its energy into creating any blooms or supporting any blooms. We want it to put its energy into creating roots. The next thing we want to do is remove some of the lower leaves, and we can just pull them off like this. Or we could use some sort of shears or cutters and cut off the bottom leaves. I'm also noticing that we have some flower buds right here. We want to remove any flower buds that are on here as well. So we're going to follow it all the way down to the end. I'm going to remove a few more leaves from the bottom. And as long as you leave a few leaves on the top, you're fine. You don't want to remove every single leaf on the top. You need a few leaves on the top just so that the plant can continue pulling in energy through photosynthesis. And with these larger leaves, I could leave them on there, but most likely they will wilt for me. I could remove the larger leaves, or another option is I could just cut the leaves a little bit smaller. And that way they're not transpiring as much, meaning they're not putting so much energy in terms of water for supporting those leaves. And you'll notice I'm not telling you what size of a cutting to take. It's really up to you. You don't generally want it to be a very large size cutting, but you will also need it to be large enough so that you have one or two leaf nodes that will be beneath soil level, as well as a few sets of leaves above soil level. See these little bumps here? Those are what we call leaf nodes, and that's where a lot of times the leaves come out. What I actually like to do is come in and just pull off any of that down below, just to clean things up. And also when I'm doing that, I might also be opening it up a little bit where possible roots might come out. When you take a geranium cutting using secateurs, pruners, or shears like this, there is a chance that you're possibly crushing the end of your cutting. This is optional, but I found success using this. I just have one of these scalpels on hand, and I want to go ahead and make a nice clean cut beneath a leaf node. So we have a leaf node right here, so I'm going to go ahead and just make a nice cut right there. You could also use something like a sharp blade or anything else that you have handy. Again, I would say that step is optional. As long as the cut that you made is nice and clean, you're fine. And also, whatever you use for a cutting instrument, make sure that you've sanitized it beforehand. You don't want to be spreading any disease from plant to plant. You'll notice I'm also wearing gloves. I don't want to have any disease that spread from my hands to my plant. I'm trying to keep things as sanitary as possible. What I want to do now is just basically wound the bottom of my cutting. And I want to be careful when I do that. I don't want to cut myself. And what I mean by wounding the cutting is just coming in like this and scraping it a little bit. Geraniums have many hormones built into them, but when you scrape a cutting like this, you're basically helping the plant out where its hormones are exposed and where it can root a little bit easier for you. I have some pre-moistened DIY potting mix that I made myself, and I have videos on my channel that go over how to make your own DIY potting mix. You don't have to use your own homemade potting mix. You can use any potting mix that you want. Just make sure that it's a well-draining potting mix, and also you want it to be pre-moistened so that when you squeeze it, you don't have water that's dripping out, and yet when you let go, the potting mix holds its form. That's the perfect consistency. I have a small pot here that I'm going to go ahead and fill with the pre-moistened potting mix. I want to press down to eliminate any air pockets that might be in there. I don't want to press down too hard though, because I also don't want to compact the potting mix too much. There are a lot of different rooting hormones out there. This is one that I've been using for years and I highly recommend it. I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit in this dish here. When it comes to Regal geraniums, I've researched that it does help them. It's beneficial to put rooting hormone on the cutting. It just helps with a higher success rate for your cutting. I'm putting a fair amount on there. However, I want to tap off any excess rooting hormone that's in here. I'm just going to use the back of this marker to make a hole where the cutting's going to go. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want to press the cutting and force it into here. I want it to go in nice and easily. And I want you to pay special attention to those bumps that are on there. You want at least 2 sets of bumps to go beneath potting mix or soil level. And now I can go ahead and just tamp down or press around my cutting, trying to straighten it up the best that I can. Even though the potting mix is pre-moistened, I'm going to give this additional water. It's important to monitor your cutting, and if it's getting dry, to give it water. But you also don't want to give it too much water because you don't want to rot the plant out. The mother plant was originally in my garage, and therefore it may have possible insects or bugs on there, little bugs that I might not see. So the next thing I want to do, and this is optional, is I want to go ahead and spray it with some sort of insecticidal soap just to be proactive in case there are any creepy crawlies living on this cutting. This is the insecticidal soap that I like to use, and that's what it says on the back of it. It says to shake it well before using, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to make sure that I'm spraying not only the bottom, but also the top of the leaves. You can never spray it too much. It's worth being careful because, again, you don't want to bring in any sort of pests that may not only attack this cutting, but other plants that you're growing indoors as well. I made a label that just says Regal Red Velvet and the date that I've taken the cutting. That is optional, but since I plan on taking cuttings from 2 different Regal geraniums, I want to make sure I label them appropriately. And then I'm going to go ahead and set my cutting under my grow lights, which are on a timer. They come on at 5 a.m., they go off at 9 p.m., which is 16 hours a day. And even though there's a seedling heat mat nearby, the cuttings will not be on a seedling heat mat. My house stays warm enough. If you're going to try this process, be patient. Regal geraniums can take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks to root, with some rooting as quickly as 2 to 4 weeks. And it's going to depend on a bunch of things such as warmth, light, whether or not rooting hormone was used or not. Just like any other cutting that you take, please resist the urge to check for roots. If you want to, you can do a very slight tug and see if there's resistance. What I really try to do though is wait and check the bottom. And if I see roots forming on the bottom, then I know something's happening. And that might not happen for a long time, for a number of months, so be patient. And if you really wanted to, you could use something like a clear cup or a clear pot, and that way you can see very easily if roots are being formed. If the room where you're putting your cuttings is somewhere between 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, then that's optimal. You want to put your cuttings under bright, indirect light. It's better not to put them in a very bright, sunny area. Continue to check on the moisture. You want the rooting medium to be moist but not soggy. Remember, using a rooting hormone can encourage faster root development. And then finally, your potting mix should be well draining. Once I see a fair amount of roots coming out from the bottom of the plant, at that point I can go ahead and pot up my plant. And I definitely don't want to be fertilizing my cutting. I want to wait until it has a very good amount of roots being formed as well as top growth. Don't be surprised if you see top growth appearing and yet you don't see anything happening down below where the roots are. That can happen as well. In fact, now that we've made that cut at the bottom of our cutting, what will happen is it's going to callus over. And after it calluses over, it will start to send out little roots whenever it's ready to do that. If I notice that my cutting is starting to send out a flower bud, I want to remove it because again, I want the cutting to put its energy into creating those strong, sturdy roots. Now we're going to check on my overwintered zonal geraniums. I've been overwintering geraniums this way for a number of years. I like to keep them down in my cool, dark basement. They're not stored in any sort of potting mix or soil. Every month I have it on my calendar to check on them. I'm checking for any sort of rot, any sort of disease, but also I like to rehydrate the roots. There are really two ways that you can rehydrate those roots. One way is to take a spray bottle and just spritz the roots. Another way is to actually take the plant and put the roots in water. And what I like to do is take a nice big bowl, fill it with water, and just plunk my plants into there. I just want to make sure that the roots are beneath water level and the rest of the plant is above water level. Let's go ahead and add water to our bowl. The water is not hot, but it's also not cold. It's room temperature. I have two more boxes just like this one, but let's go ahead and open it up. And there are a bunch of the geraniums. Look how good they look. You see all that green? That is just new growth that continues to be pushed even though these plants are bare root. In fact, some of them don't even have a very extensive root system. They have a very small amount of roots, and yet they're supporting such a big plant. It's amazing how it works, actually. During this time, I like to remove any of the leaves that might still be remaining on the plant. But you'll notice most of the leaves have been removed from my geranium plants. If you're checking on yours and you still have a whole bunch of leaves that are crispy, go ahead and remove those. I've already done that in a previous video. But I could come in and still do a little bit of cleanup if I want to. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm looking at each geranium plant and I'm looking for any parts that are soft or mushy. Like this piece right here, you can see very easily, it doesn't look very good. It used to look like this, but then over time, it's become light brown, and if I take it, I can go ahead and bend it. But then you'll notice there's a piece right above that looks okay. So another thing that I'm going to be doing outside of this video is I'm actually going to be taking cuttings from my geranium, very similar to what I already showed you today. The only difference in this case, for example, is that it might not be a very big cutting, but that's okay. But the thing is, I don't want to waste this piece. It may not root for me. You never know. So I'll just be coming in and cutting it right here, and I'll do the same process like I showed you, and I'll go ahead and put it in some potting mix, and you just never know, we might end up being able to root that. So I'm just going to come in and cut right here. And then for my cutting, I would probably just cut it right here. There's no guarantee, but it's worth a try, right? There's a section right here that when you follow it up, it looks okay. And right here, it doesn't look so good. But if I do this, it's not bending for me. So for right now, I'm going to leave it. But I'll watch it, and the next time I check on this geranium plant, if I feel that it's bendy, I can remove it. This piece right here, it's also very bendy. But at the top, it does have a little bit of growth. Whether or not it will do anything for me, I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and remove this section right here. And I'm guessing this probably will not root for me. But again, I have nothing to lose. So what I'll probably do is just cut it down here and see if I can try to root this little section. What I'm planning to do off camera though is to come in and sections that look very long and scraggly, I'm planning to come in and try to take cuttings. So the reason for doing that is I want to be able to take cuttings and make more plants, of course, but also I want to just clean up my plant a little bit. And it's a nice time to be doing that. Is this step optional? Absolutely. You don't have to do it. It's just a fun winter project for me to do while I'm looking at snow outside. And again, I do have videos that show how to propagate a zonal geranium from cuttings, and I'll put links to those videos down below. I've experimented many different ways, but the way I'm doing it this year is very similar to what I showed you earlier with my Regal geranium. But most importantly, what we're doing with all of our geraniums is we're taking each one of them and we're just putting the roots in water. And I do that for about 1 hour, no more than 2 hours. And after 1 to 2 hours have passed, I then go ahead, I take each of the geraniums out, I let them just dry a little, I just lay them down, and I lay them down for about a half hour or so. I basically don't want to be storing them wet, and then they're just going to go back inside of my cardboard box. And then I can go ahead and cut out any pieces that look suspect before or after I do this process. It really doesn't matter, as long as I do check each section over. Here's a geranium that is extremely wonky. So when you think about it, when the time comes for me to wake up my geraniums and get them potted up, I don't want a wonky looking geranium that looks like this. So why not go ahead and take some cuttings right now, get them rooted, and it's just a fun thing to do this time of year. When you're working with the roots on your geraniums, they may be brittle. You want to be gentle with them, but if one small root falls off, it's not the end of the world. As long as your plant has more roots on it, it'll be fine. So if you're overwintering bare root geraniums, such as I am, make sure you're checking on them during the winter once a month. Pull off any leaves that look brown or crispy. If there are flower buds or flowers, which can happen, go ahead and remove those. If there are any pieces that are suspect, they feel soft or mushy, go ahead and cut those. If you want to have fun and experiment, go ahead and just take a few cuttings, see what happens. You have nothing to lose. Not only do I love saving money in my garden by overwintering my geraniums, I also love experimenting, taking cuttings, seeing if I can make more plants. That's yet another way not only to save money in the garden, but basically to prove to myself that I can do it and that you can do it too. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below if you're overwintering geraniums, and if so, what's your method for doing it? Have you ever taken cuttings from your geranium plants, or are you going to try doing it this year? If you like this kind of content and you want to see more of it, please hit the thumbs up button. That way I know to make more videos just like this one. Spring will be here before you know it, and I can't wait. So until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.